Hey, we're alive. Welcome home. Ah, pretty sick. We did something fun yesterday. So now we're forced to eat some more slop and play Celeste. I'm kidding, of course. I'm actually playing it because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing these things to myself. Don't know what that says about me. Don't think about that too much. Alright. Do we have any reason to chill in this screen except for listening to Animal Crossing City Folk? Perhaps, actually, This music's very nice. Kinda don't wanna switch off of it, you see. Alright, I managed to pick a little bit of a more clickbaity title today. Let's see if it's enticing to people. Well, I was just thinking, because when new people come in, they usually ask what happens when you die. And now I put it into the title, so now they don't even need to go into my stream to ask. Alright. Let's play. Let's play some video games. So, this should be right here. And unfortunately, I am going to kill the music. Mycromator just killed the vibe. Why did you kill the vibe, Mycromator? I know, the music's so nice. Animal Crossing. It's kind of crazy that they just reuse the songs for Wild World. From Wild World, not for Wild World. Wild World came out first. They just put that game on Wii and added the city. And honestly, it sounds like, oh, they just added the city and called it a day. But honestly, the city is a pretty significant feature of Animal Crossing Wild World, so frankly, you can't exactly complain. Oh wait, I need to switch. Oh yeah, right. I need to switch sources. Ba boom, bada boomba. Supposed to say Celeste. All right, I think we're ready to row. Ready to run. Ready to do some running. Be quick on my feet. Actually, please don't talk about my feet on stream. Alrighty. Let's press A. New save file. The name's Madeline. It's actually what I'm gonna call myself. I'm kidding. I'm not transitioning. In that sense, I'm quite different from my community. They do have a very queer community. Which is kind of funny, honestly. Alright, let's do some hopping. Considering I'm none of those things. Alright, let's see if we can actually get a good time this time. Do we get below 28, or do I just get 28 again? I get 28 every single time. That's incredible. That's insane. That's unbelievable. Alright, so be sure to treasure these moments, because this is actually the last time you'll see these chapters, because I'm actually just gonna do it this time, Imagine if I did. Honestly, I'd feel kind of bad. If I just did it, I'd feel kind of bad, because I'd never get to do this again. Though actually knowing myself, I'd just straight up, in my free time, I'd just be chilling at my desk, open up Celeste and do some permadeath runs. And I get really good at this. Make it like the worst party trick of all time. Now you show up to a party and you pull out your laptop and you start playing Celeste in the corner while everyone else is having fun. But you're doing it without dying, Alright. I like how the sign just says bubbles. What are they advertising? Like bubbles? Do people sell bubbles? I mean, I guess they do sell the soap bubble blowers for children. Dude, those are fucking awesome when I was small. When I was little, I fucking loved those things. Yeah, that was like a thing you'd carry around all day. And you'd just be blowing bubbles. It'd be awesome. Those were the phones of our day. I'm kidding. Kind of. Alright. Madeline is sleeping. Which is actually not good. She's actually not allowed to do that. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Would I sleep in an abandoned city? I feel like I'd feel quite unnerved. I don't think I'd be doing that. But I mean, I guess where else does she have to sleep? Oh fuck! All right. Okay, I just fucked it. I hit the block on the way down. I couldn't even get the wave dashes. I mean, I might as well just end it all right now. All right. Dash crystal. Sometimes as a streamer you just say the things you see. Like I just saw a barrel there. You know, barrels are pretty cool. In Minecraft especially, I don't know. They're not a great storage option if I'm being honest. But I do love using them. Because they look kind of silly, you know. They add some style to your game. If I walk into a base and someone's using barrels for storage, you know what kind of player they are. I know what you are. I'm kidding. Nah, I've been in my like 1 week Minecraft phase now. But I'm in this weird way where I don't really want to make progress, you know. I'm not the guy to rush the elytra. Or go to the nether first things first. Instead I built a railway system between two villages and I'm trying to map out the overworld. I don't know why I'm like this. Maybe I just don't enjoy Minecraft's post-game all that much. I'm not that big a fan of it. But I guess I do want to experience the trial chambers this time. Like last time I played was like the first time I properly played Caves and Cliffs. Oh, okay, that was... I just completely fucked up. I was not looking at the game. But we're fine. We're fine. I'm okay. I didn't perish or anything. You know what sometimes I'm scared of? Like in a run, I just die. And I don't even notice. Like instinctually, I just keep playing. And then when I get to the end, I'm like, oh my god, I finally did it. I look at the save file and it says 1. That'd be pretty infuriating. Cyclo wave dash. Okay. Okay, I just completely fucked that up. Let's see. No, but generally that's like my nightmare. You know, I like start a run while there's not many viewers there. I die and I don't even notice, just keep playing. In the end, you know, people are hyped, you finally did it, you beat chapter 7, and the main menu is just says 1 death. Alright, for good luck, hello information stand. Goodbye information stand. I don't know if it's that great a place to put a tourist information stand, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many people visit there. I guess it would be a lot. Now that I think about it, it kinda does make sense. Because there was the Forsaken City next to it. I take everything back. We love you, information stand. Imagine that's your job, manning that place. Like you're just sitting there in the cold because, as far as I understand, it's cold up on this mountain, you know? There's snow everywhere. So, you know, you're freezing. You're Canadian. You know, all negative side effects of having to work at that information stand. You're next to this old site that barely gets visitors. Must be tough. I take back the Canadian hate. I like Canadians because they're North American, but they're not US Americans, you know. They're not the bad ones. Alright, what's up, Oshiro? Dude, this is like the first time I did this movement. This is so much faster. I don't know why my fingers decided to move like that. They have a mind of their own. I don't know what that voice was. The voice feels like it'd be a reference to something. It's not a reference I can recall. Alright. This time I'm actually trying to get a good time on this. Please give me 27 this time. Please give me 27 for once. I remember one time I should get 26. Still 28! Are you fucking kidding me? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I know it just sounded really sad though. That's because I'm a deeply sad person. I'm actually not. I'm actually feeling quite good. Okay, that was pretty bad. It's tough when you're actually trying to do movement and then you mess up. You know, that's when it feels bad. You know, when you're just doing a normal permadeath attempt and you fuck up your movement, it doesn't feel bad. But right now I'm trying to go fast for some reason. Okay, I did not do the wave dash. That's cool because I did not want to risk it for the biscuit. Would you risk it for the biscuit? I personally really like biscuits. Is that a wet floor sign? I'm not exactly sure that floor is wet. Considering the city looks like it's crumbling. You know, it's probably abandoned. Well, I guess the UK looks like it's crumbling as well. Okay, but we know that the city is abandoned. Theo tells us this much. In the secret room with the crashed airplane. But I'm not exactly sure that it makes Euclidean sense for how that airplane got there, but you know. At least Celeste as a game is Euclidean, which is quite nice. Actually, I think there's like a few rooms where it's messed up. I think actually, or was that Hollow Knight? I'm not exactly sure. I think Celeste is entirely Euclidean. Old site. The site's old. You know, it's just like you. I was gonna say just like your mom, but that feels exceedingly mean. You know, I don't want to remind you of your mom's mortality. I want to remind you of your own mortality. Memento mori. Time always passes, and you can't do anything about it. Each second you spend, you will never get back. That is an insane anxiety to have. Truly, the moment you live in, you know, the context that led up to it, the decisions you could have made at any second. Those are decisions you can never make. Because, you know, if you do them now, they're different decisions. Time is a scary concept. It's best not to think about it too much. If it gets one of the easiest ways to get really existential. Think about time a lot. On like a microcosmic level. Oh wow, I actually did it without the climb this time. That rhymed. Did that rhyme where I said I did it without the climb this time? You know, that was pretty... That was a rhyme of mine. You might think it's pretty asinine, but, you know. You're right. It's kind of cool, because honestly, the first two chapters don't take that long, you know. The fact that I can do it in like 4 minutes makes this bearable. I'm still upset that I died on chapter 3, frankly. I mean, it's not a place where you're supposed to die. And at this point, I'm kind of scared because, like, I died twice on that room with the 3 platforms and the spinny guys around them. So at this point, it feels like, you know, I might be developing incorrect muscle memory, or I'm going to start to get nervous in that room, which is going to cause me to mess up more. When you're nervous about a section, it's much easier to mess it up. This is why you should just be completely apathetic towards your gameplay. That's the easiest solution. Alright. Whee! Okay, I was just completely silent there for a second. Moving on to chapter 3, where the game actually starts. I just finished the tutorial, the prologue, the preamble. Preamble is such an awesome word because honestly, you know, it sounds so discounting of what you have to say. Because I don't know, if someone says they're ambling, it kind of sounds like, you know, they're like, you know, just saying like nothing basically. You know, it's just a bit of like rambling. It reminds me of the word rambling. Your preamble sounds like the ramblings before the book. Like unsorted, weird thoughts, you know, uncohesive. No reason for them to exist, you know. You know the type. I like the grandfather clock here. I think that one's a good touch. Mr. Oshiro, you know, interior designer of the highest caliber. I don't think that's true, but, you know. I like some of his decoration choices. I think placing a bunch of pianos around, not the greatest idea. But, you know. You can't win them all. Alright, I got the strawberry this time. It's good luck. And that because I didn't get the strawberry, you know, which caused me to have bad quality luck. Instead of saying bad luck, say bad quality luck. Okay, I collected it on accident. That's fine. That's alright. That's okay. I can live with that. The fact that there's like these animal skeleton heads everywhere, I think that's a bit weird. And him reusing the same paintings is also a bit strange. But frankly, if you look at it, you know, the display heads, like the animal heads that he's got on display, they feel like haphazardly thrown around, you know. It doesn't feel like they're in cohesive places. I think it's all just a bit kitsch. But, you know, frankly, I'll have to say that Mr. Oshiro, probably his business didn't even fail because of his own faults. Now, it seems like there were more structural issues at play here, you know. Because frankly, his vacation resort could have been really nice if the Forsaken City had stayed open, you know, if people wouldn't have refused to live there because it was so corporate. Then maybe perhaps the Celestial Resort would be doing much better. Now you'd have business travelers having to stay somewhere, might as well stay in the mountains. You know, people down from the Forsaken City going on a skiing trip on Mount Celeste or hiking through it. They'd stay at the Celestial Resort. And even just so, I think you'll attract plenty more tourists to your specific mountainside if there's like a big city next to it. So I think Mr. Oshiro kind of got fucked by structural problems there. But as I don't buy the story that the Forsaken City was simply too capitalistic and people did not want to live there. I simply don't buy it, you know? It seems like there were plenty of corporations interested in being there, and you know, I think money talks at the end of the day. I think there might have been more factors at play. Perhaps a great recession, you know, a big recession. Or some sort of, you know, economic strain causing many companies to dip out of the project. Maybe even a housing bubble burst. That could also be possible, you know. Developers and landlords not being able to rent out apartments due to structural economic issues. Though I'm very skeptical of arguments like that. You know, I don't think that housing can be too cheap in an area and that area dies that way. I don't think that happens. Because frankly, it's so easy to make a long-term return on a house, on a rental. It's just that landlords more often than not want a medium-term return on their properties, which is just a bit greedy, is it not? It makes sense. They want to invest in more properties. I hate the rental market so much. Not great market dynamics to be found there. I just went off on this large economics tangent, you know. It'd be kind of fun, you know, if there was someone here to listen to it. and they just be like fucking asking themselves what the stream is about. Like you drop in the middle of that, I'm talking about the how landlords deal with rental market downturns. It's kind of funny. Okay, I messed up my cycle, but I think it's fine. Yeah. I'm okay with the elevator shaft now. I think, like, for the first few times I played this level, the elevator shaft was, like, a huge hurdle for me. But I think it is for most people. It can prove to be quite difficult. At least in comparison to, you know, these rooms that I'm going through right now. I feel like the elevator shaft is plenty more difficult. Whoop. Sick little wall jump before he comes in there. Before he comes in there? This room's always a bit stressful. I mean, I've figured out the way to do it. But it was scary to me for such a long time that I still don't quite trust myself to do it every time. But I'm not gonna demo dash, because if I mess up a demo dash, it never feels like it's my fault. And I think that's a huge part for me. I don't think I'd be able to keep going in this challenge if I felt like my deaths weren't my fault. Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's because of my joystick, you know, like you know, it didn't quite register me going diagonally and instead do a straightforward dash. That's a bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, it still feels like I input the incorrect thing. I think that kind of thing is important to keep your sanity for something like this. But I don't know, if you're interested in keeping your sanity, I think the easiest solution is to just not do a challenge like this. But perhaps I'm thinking too advanced right now for my own brain processes. Nice. Bonked him. 1, 2. Jump over him. Dude, I've got him figured out. He kind of doesn't stand a chance at all anymore. Okay, maybe he does stand a little bit of a chance. I messed up there. I got a bit too cocky. Now my cock was out, even though, you know, the dress code clearly said to wear pants. The hotel is also tough because, you know what? It feels so official. It's so luxurious that I'd feel uncomfortable going out of my hotel room wearing like pajamas or something. I feel like I'd have to put on something formal, like formal attire. But I guess it's just a general thing for high-end hotels. You kind of don't wear comfortable clothes there. Well, I guess for me it is not a problem because I'm not a comfortable clothes kind of guy in the sense that I find my formal clothes to be quite comfortable. So, you know, at home you'll see me wearing a shirt and like shirt pants, like a button-up shirt. It's kind of funny. I just really like dressing well, I guess. It's been a high priority for me. I've always been a bit pretentious in some ways, and I think that's one of the manifestations of that. I don't know why I just did the short hop on there. I usually don't do that. I just decided to mix it up a bit, you know? Whoop. Baboosh. I like the flags waving in the wind here. I don't know what they're supposed to represent, but you know, I like them waving in the wind. I think they look kind of nice, even though they're torn up. Maybe some kind of lost political movement, you know, guerrilla fighters hanging out in the mountains. Eco-terrorists, because I just saw a flag with a tree on it. It's where they hung out their clothes to dry. Now that I think about it, I have no idea what these things are. Maybe Granny just has a lot of clothes she hangs out to dry here. Granny's really good at platforming, I'll have you know. What the fuck? Did my trigger just break in the middle of that? That's fucked up. That's so fucked. Maybe my finger slipped? Dude, I can't believe that. I mean, I guess it is just 15 minutes, but it's still painful. That's not an honorable death. That feels dishonorable. That feels like the trigger stopped clicking down. I think trees in the background here. Wait, these are the same trees like from the beginning of chapter 7. Tree theory? Alright. Let's move the chat for a second. I don't want to know my concurrent viewers. Yeah, I feel as though... I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something really depressing. That's not the vibe I wanna have here. Being defeatist isn't exactly the point of this challenge. This challenge is kind of about perseverance. But I mean, I feel like a lot of things in life are about perseverance. You know, going through hardship. It's crazy. I have a lot of thoughts I could say. That just a general statement there. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. My brain's very big, you must understand. That was pretty awesome. I just improvised that. I love it when I do something just a tad bit different. You know, it really spices up the experience of playing through the same chapters over and over. Oh boy. Yeah, no, yesterday's stream was really fun because I got to play a game I love. Unlike today where I got to play a game I hate. No, I love this game as well. But it's not just about loving the game. There's lots of factors that go into deciding what I do with my time. Sometimes it feels like I am just wasting it. Wasting away. Because if I think about it like this, you know, if I, at the current stage of my life, just played Celeste grinding this thing for an hour every day, it'd feel pretty bad. But, you know, with the possibility of someone perhaps watching it, that's fine. That makes it okay. It's these weird compartmentalizations that we do that make it a bit weird. I mean, frankly, it's the fact of the matter is that even if I do beat it, the payoff isn't huge. Like the payoff when I do this challenge is just like, oh, that's kind of neat. You know, I did it. I'm not the first to do it. Not the fastest to do it. Not notable enough for it to matter. So it's important to, you know, keep in mind that a lot of things you do are just about pride. And you can't start focusing too much on the consequences. Because you'll get into this and after that mentality, right? And then what? And then I'll finally be happy, you know? When I finally do this, I'm gonna be glad. I'm gonna be done. And then when I finally do that, and then you get there, you know? The goal you've been aiming for, you get there, but, you know, the show goes on. And what if you don't instantly start feeling happy and fulfilled? What if it's not like what you imagined? You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, all your hopes and dreams. Which is like the most surface level advice you can ever give, but I feel it's so easy to slip into that. It's a great way to keep yourself motivated, you know? to think, oh yeah, there's this one big goal I need to achieve. I just need to keep going until I get there. You need to have an exit strategy or a long-term plan in mind at some point. Or else you end up, you know, just doing things for the sake of it. Alright. Hello, information stand. Everyone say hello, information stand. Say it mentally. No, I know you're listening to this in the background, but, you know, like, compartmentalize the sentences I say. You know, think to yourself, hello, information stand. Thank you. That's gonna bless our run today. Alright. We got chapter 2 done. Now we reach the extended tutorial. You know, chapter 1 and 2, those are the tutorial. And now we're reaching chapter 3, which is the extended tutorial. Nah, but actually, it's fine. I've gotten so confident at doing chapter 3 that, you know, it's not that bad. I've gotten quite good at it. And back when getting past chapter 3 was considered huge, I mean... That's how I know that I am actually improving. You know, considering the fact that, like, I beat Oshiro and I don't even feel that satisfied. It used to be like a pop-off moment. But as time goes on, you know, the improvements get rarer and rarer, you know. When I get to chapter 6, it's so rare to make progress there because there's so many chapters before it I could die to. I could mess up in. That was easier when I kept dying to a huge mess or something like that. No, I'd only have to play chapter 1 and 2 again to get back to trying to beat my record. Oh, this time I did the slow strat again. Not the quick strat I developed. This stream, by the way, you know, and this stream was when I developed the quick strat for that previous room. I mean, developed is a huge word for that. I kind of just... My fingers decided to play it a bit different and ended up being faster. It's probably what I did like in speedruns back when I speedrun this game for a little while. I mean, a little while is also kind of overestimating, you know. It's like it was like 4 streams or something. That was a fun period of time, though. Sorry for the deep sigh there. You know, that just seemed pretty depressing. It's very nice. I'm really enjoying the weather right now. We finally had the prophecy fulfilled, where the 2 weekend days are like very warm. You know, we got like 29 degrees here, and then as soon as Monday hits, it's back to 20, back to 19. I'm so fucking hyped. I'm so psyched. I love when it's not hot outside. Yeah. Non-heat wave days are very good. You don't need to overcompensate by eating a bunch of ice cream. There's actually quite a few things I can't wait for. But at some, you know, thinking back on it, it's not the greatest plan because, oh wow, I almost just killed myself there because I wasn't looking at the screen. Now, when you wish that fall finally came, you know, when I wish for that, I wish for summer of 2025 to be gone forever. Which is kind of scary, you know? It's kind of scary that I've only, you know, that, like, when you're 40, you only had 40 summers. That's not that many. If you're in your 20s, right, you only have 10 summers in your 20s. That's pretty scary. You know, like, if you waste one summer, that's 1/10 of them gone. If you're studying at university and you waste one of your university summers, if you're just going for a bachelor's, that's 1/3 of them wasted. You know, I really want to give you anxiety. That's my main goal for the stream. I want to give you temporal anxiety. I want you to feel like you're falling behind and like time's passing you by too fast. And like you're not falling behind, but you're not using your full potential in the moment. Alright, we're at boxes and now. We're kind of blazing through chapter 3 right now. I do wonder how long a good chapter 3 run takes. You know, this one isn't going too bad. I think it takes about 11 minutes. I think that's my guess. But let's see what the final verdict says when I finally do beat it. Actually, 11 minutes might have been a little bit too little. I think it's probably closer to 12. But let's not die to the bullshit this time on chapter 4 though. Let's not die because because I stopped holding the climb button. And I will blame myself for it. I think I probably let go of it. I got a bit too comfortable. I re-gripped my controller in a weird way. Oh wow, okay, that was kind of fucked up. I feel like I never do that wall jump at the end. I usually don't run out of stamina. What the hell just happened? Maybe there is a problem with my trigger. That would be pretty awful. That would be really bad, actually. Oh, fuck. Okay, I did just get completely off cycle there. Ah, it's fine. Is it, though? I was kind of crumbling. Dude, I'm kind of crumbling. Oh, let's try the... Okay. Everything's sort of falling apart right now. You have to understand. I think I'm gonna do like 2 more. I wonder how far I'd get if I just did one in complete silence, completely just honed in, focused on the game. It'd be a pretty rotten idea, but maybe. I guess that's what I would do if I was playing this in my off time. Though I don't think it'd be very nice. Welcome home, gaming paradise. How are you doing? I quickly need to close a window. Sorry about that. Oh, window's closed now. You know, because it is a bit late, and in the summer, when I stream, I talk to myself for about an hour or something, and I think people can hear me if I speak loud enough, which is kind of weird. I don't like thinking about that. I don't like my neighbors knowing that I stream. Oh, I just bonked Madeline's head. That's a traumatic head injury if I've ever seen it. That's how you doing, gaming paradise. That reminds me of the game Rhythm Paradise. That's a good one. It's called Rhythm Heaven outside of Europe. It's a real good one. You have a decent idea on how to practice this challenge, Celeste, but every time I die, I beat farewell. Oh my goodness, no. That sounds... Oh, whoa. I mean, that sounds like it put a lot of pressure on the runs, you know? I feel like a huge aspect of why I'm even semi-able to do this, like able to get decently far, is because I don't get attached to the runs. I feel like I don't care about them that much. And that's why I don't get nervous. And if you get nervous, you play worse, right? But if I had to play through farewell every time, you know, it upped the stakes. I'd get scared to lose, and I'd play scared. And that'd make me play worse. And I wouldn't go for sick shit like this. That's style points right there. I'm farming style points. But thanks for the suggestion. That's chapter 1 done. We're still not quite done with the tutorial. It ends after chapter 2 in my opinion. But luckily that one isn't that long. Strawberries will impress your friends. Will they? Honestly, I feel like if I'd go to my real life friends and I'd show them how many strawberries I've collected in Celeste, I don't think they'd care. I don't think they'd be impressed necessarily. But maybe I just got the wrong friends. You know, that's also possible. Does this mean if I get all the strawberries, I finally can have friends? That'd be pretty awesome. That sounded very sad. I do have friends in real life. And it's kind of fucked up living a life without friends. That's really messed up. Frankly, just a life no one should have to lead. Okay. Oh, wow. I always wonder what these cages are for here. Like, what was the old site? There's like barrels, there was a bunch of doors, and there's also a lot of cages. But it can't be that old, considering there's like oil lamps hanging around. It's like, what was this used for? It was next to the Forsaken City. Was this like the shady underbelly of the Forsaken City, you know? This is where the drug lords hung out. Don't go to this part of town. If you want to stay safe. I'm schmovin'. 1, 2. And a wave dash. And a coin. Secret path. The secret path doesn't even save that much time, but I like going for it. It's funny, it's easier. And you get to hear the secret path sound effect, you know? It's always nice to hear the secret path sound effect. Whee! And we're done with chapter 2. Or at least, kind of. What's harder, 7B Golden or this challenge? This challenge for sure. I haven't done 7B Golden yet, but I think this challenge is definitely harder. I think there was someone in my chat yesterday saying that in like the Celeste community ranking system, this is supposedly like a lot harder than 7BG. But I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense, because for 7BG, it frankly doesn't make that much of a difference if you're running the whole game how difficult the rooms are, because the challenge mostly comes down to playing consistently for a very long time. So there's a lot of rooms in the game and you have to play consistently well without messing up a single time. 7BG is, in comparison, much shorter. Like, yes, the rooms are more difficult individually, but, you know, there's not as much to practice and there's not as many opportunities to fuck it up. But yeah, I do still need to do 7BG. That's the one golden berry I'm missing, except for Farewell. But Farewell's a whole nother beast. A whole nother Mr. Beast. Just a whole different one. Like, I've heard apparently this is tier 7, whatever that's supposed to mean. And 7BG is like tier 4 or something. I don't know. Not really invested in the Celeste community online much. I don't really hang around those parts. Like, I stream the game from time to time, but I'm not on like the Discord or necessarily watch many content creators about this game. Okay, didn't do the fast strat here for some reason. I think I just forgot again. You have a bit of progress on Farewell, and you think you can say it's doable? I think Farewell is doable. I think after I'm done with this challenge, I will grind Celeste Farewell Goldenberry. I think the grind would definitely take less time than this has taken so far, you know? I think I'll do that one faster than I did this. Because again, the challenge in this just comes down to just how long it is. How many rooms there are. I have to play without messing up. Which is actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna win this run. This is the one. You're here for it. What's up, Mr. Oshiro? Time for huge mess. This part of the level always feels like it drags on. I don't know why. It feels like Celestial Resort, when you play through it, it feels like it's mostly huge mess, and then there's like a bit before it and a bit after it. To me, that's how the level feels. Maybe it's just because I technically have choices on where to go. Because it doesn't even take that long to beat you. Oh wow, I almost just messed up there. My fingers slipped off of the joystick. Huge respect to speedrunners with sub 30. Yeah, that's insane. Sub 30 is crazy. I remember, like, back when I speedrun this game, just a long time ago, it wasn't that great. But I had a time of 49 something, and I was almost top 1,000, so... You know, we've come a long way since then. People have just gotten better. It's not like we've found new tech. People have just gotten better. It's kind of wild to think about. Well, I guess they did discover, like, new skips and places to save time. But I remember the first time sub 30 was done. That was a wild time. I don't think I'll ever do it. Mostly just because I'd have to learn strats. And that's something I really just don't like doing. So when I speedrun the game, I went through the rooms and I tried to develop my own strats to beat them fast. And I found that to be very fun. I think practicing just like you know, the real correct way to do it, in quote unquote, is not as interesting to me. Because I can't afford over 10 untechnical deaths and go super fast. I mean, also, yeah, I can't speedrun the game on this. And going faster is just inherently more dangerous, you know. On one hand, you spend less time in the dangerous rooms, but on the other hand, you're playing a lot more loosey-goosey, you know, a lot more opportunities to mess up if you're going very fast. So that's why you need to strike a balance, which is what I'm trying to do. But I think that's what every Celeste player has learned when they start doing golden berries, you know. Like, the first few rooms you start going through is super quick. You might even start doing speedrun strats for the first few rooms. But for, like, the last 5, you just play carefully, you know. What? What? I don't think that's ever happened to me. That's usually what happens. I get underneath them. Oh, that's so frustrating. I got through the most boring part of the game and now I need to do it again. Oh my god, I died to the... I finally got through huge mess, then I die again. To me, this challenge only really gets fun when you get to chapter 4. Oh my god. Well, you win some, you lose some. And this is part of the... I was trying to go too fast, apparently. You're going to do this with me? Are you sure you after witnessing that? Or do you mean you're also gonna try to do permadeath? I mean, you can... Sure, it's a fun challenge. At least to me, it's fun. But I'm also just a weirdo. In that sense. I don't think most people find this fun. Oh. Stop laughing at me, Granny. That's so disrespectful. Granny, I'm watching your stream right now. Why are you trying not to laugh, bro? That's disrespectful as shit. That's a funny reference if you get it. Alright, finally. Let's get back to Foreskin City. Well, you do like suffering. Oh, in that case, I think this challenge is for you. This challenge got plenty of suffering, you know. If you die to like a stupid mistake, like, you know, I might be looking stone-faced through all of it and just restart, but you know, inside there is a little bit of a storm brewing, you know, just being quite frustrated. That's what happened with the elevator shaft for me just now, you know? I might have seemed calm on the outside, but on the inside, you know, there was this little part of me that got pretty dang riled up about that. But at this point, I'm just used to restarting, so I'm not that scared of it anymore. Which again, that's the main skill you need to have. You need to not care about your runs. If you care about them, you start getting scared for them. So that's why if you're a parent, don't care about your children. I'm kidding. Sick little wall jumps. This chapter 1 feels very routine at this point. I don't even feel like I'm entirely conscious when I play this. I feel like my hands just kind of know what to do. 7BG is going to be so much funner than 6BG and 8BG. I hate to break it to you. That's not true. I don't think that's true. 6BG is definitely more enjoyable than 7BG. Honestly, you know what I sometimes think about? I think it's so crazy that you can rename the save file. And I think most casual players, when they were prompted to name their save file, like this girl I'm playing as, she's not necessarily called Madeline. You know, she might just have your name, and I think that's so crazy. I feel like that option isn't really necessary. Does the game probably hit a bit harder if the protagonist going through all this shit has the same name as you? I think the story probably does hit harder to some extent. But I just think it's a weird option to give to the player. I think I've always just called her Madeline. I've always gone with the default name. But imagine you start naming, Maddie with like your gamer name. It's kind of crazy. It's also funny how like everyone has like a quote-unquote gamer name, you know? Like an online username they use for all platforms. Even if they're not like content creators, you know? Just like the accounts you have, you know? You play Clash Royale and you go on Reddit, you have a Reddit account, and you watch YouTube, and all those accounts have the same fuck-ass online name you came up with when you were like 11. It's funny how that's a universal human experience at this point. Well, I mean, some people go first name, last name, but I feel like it's not that common. Yeah. Whee! Collecting coins. Ding dong. I never understood. Why is it a ringing sound effect? And why do the coins look like Google Maps marker pins? I've always been confused about the key coins a little bit, you know? Because they don't look like keys. But maybe I'm crazy. Alright, everyone say hello information stand in order to have good luck for this run. Hello information stand. Oh, damn it, I got on the trampoline. I'm gonna lose time. I'm gonna lose subscribers. No. Everyone's gonna unsubscribe from my channel now. No, it's not like that'd be any different than the way it usually goes. Hey, I'm back at 214 subscribers after losing it like 5 times and getting back to it. Nah, I think that the last subscriber milestone I'll ever hit is probably 250, you know? Unless the channel just randomly blows up, I don't think anything above 250 is ever happening. The growth has simply been so stunted. It's kind of impossible. But I've sort of accepted it. Alright. Keep floating around, little boys. Eventually you'll catch me, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think the dust bunnies have any intention. They're kind of just like, you know, they're kind of just having fun. I think the dust bunnies are like rabbits in real life. Or like bunnies in real life. That's actually a better comparison. You ever went over to a friend's house who has bunnies as pets? They are so stupid. But they are so silly. I kind of love them. They're so adorable. Unfortunate thing is usually people have like 8 different bunnies, so you know, they die quite often at some point, you know. Which is kind of tough, you know. Pets dying is always tough, but like, you know, you usually only have one dog that can die, but when you have like bunnies, you probably have like 8 of them. So that's 8 times you have to deal with a pet dying. Ah, damn, I collected the strawberry. I was hoping to carry it until huge mess. Whee! What's up, Oshiro? What's up, my man? Okay, I just bonked my head there. That was pretty cringe. Time to delete the save file. Celeste, but if I die, I have to buy the game again. That'd be kind of crazy. Imagine if imagine if I did that. That'd be so expensive. I'd only be able to grind this during Steam sales. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, the music's, it's kind of nice. I was just thinking, imagine if Steam had an option to buy the game for a random person. Like, you're on a store page, and you can just buy the game, and a random Steam user gets sent it, right? Like a random Steam user who, like, from the algorithm, seems likely to enjoy it. That'd be crazy. Like, imagine you really like Celeste, so you want to support the devs, and then you just buy 10 copies for random people. You know, like gifting subs on Twitch, but for gifting games. It'd be interesting. I think it's an interesting concept. I'm gonna create my Steam competitor where I'm gonna let people do that. Now, creating a Steam competitor is not a great idea. Epic Games gives out free games all the time and they still can't compete. But I think it's only a matter of time. I think eventually Gabe Newell will step down and the company will not be private anymore and it'll be publicly traded, and at that point they're gonna suck everything out of users that they can. And so then Steam's gonna go down the garbage path. At least I think that's gonna happen. I hope it's not gonna happen, but I'm afraid it will. I think this is the first time I thought about this, but like, this part is called boxes because most of the things are boxes. But what the fuck are those circles? I've never really thought about it. What the hell are they? Like, what's the sprite supposed to represent? They're not barrels because, you know, they still have the square outline around them. It's kind of weird. Alright, I got through huge mess. Now we get to the part of the run where we're free, you know? We're free from the shackles. You had the image where there's like a guy in front of a sunset, and he raises his hands up, and his hands are like he's breaking the chains. That's what it feels like when you get through huge mess. It also doesn't help that like a few rooms after huge mess you get to go outside of the building. Yeah, it does get quite stuffy in the Celestial Resort, I'll have to say, despite all the broken glass windows. Oppa. Okay. I always get just a tiny bit scared of these guys here. They are quite easy to die to, especially if you accidentally do a diagonal dash instead of straight upwards dash. Oh my goodness, I just messed that up completely. Oh wow, I can't believe I lived that. Alright. The key goes into the keyhole. Dying to this room would be very frustrating. I think I would feel really bad. But luckily I didn't. I definitely thought I just jinxed myself by saying it. Like, for sure I thought I jinxed myself. Come at me. Whee! It feels... This part of the level is so fun when you know how to avoid him properly. When you don't know how to avoid him properly, on the other hand, though, man, this part of the level is frustrating. Like, the first time players, this one feels... Oshiro seems very difficult to avoid. But see, if you're good, you can even just bonk his head like I just did there, you know? You can punish him for dashing at you. Give him a little bit of a headache. That's what we're gonna be doing in this room. It's nice. If you start, you can give him a headache every time. Like, that's consistent. You just need to hold right the entire time. And if you slightly adjust your movement, you can give him a second bonk there. But that's a bit risky, so I never go for it. What do you mean never? I rarely go for it. I got through the hardest part of the Oshiro section, so at this point I just need to finish it out. Not get caught off guard by the insta-dash that's coming after this one. So after this he does an insta-dash? Yep. I don't know why he does that. I think the devs literally put that in to catch you off guard so you die. It's a bit of a weird mechanic, because he dashes very consistently. Like, it's a very consistent timing, except for there. There he just does an instant one. After reappearing. It's quite strange. Climbing tip. Just do it. I think a lot of people don't understand that a first-time playthrough of Celeste is not... Like, you can never play Celeste for the first time again. You know, even if, like, you didn't get better at the game, this game's a puzzle platformer, right? So your first experience with this game is going to be entirely different than all subsequent runs. Because you kind of know where to go or how to play a room. Again, it's called a puzzle platformer because you have to figure out what to even do to get to the end of the room. Right? So the first time you played this game, it was not just about technical execution, it was also about mental execution. And that part sort of disappears on your second playthrough. Okay, key coin. Whip. I didn't get the strawberry this time, I didn't feel like it. It's the bad luck strawberry, you know? Last time I collected it, I fucked up the run in a really stupid way that left me feeling very frustrated. So this time I'm just not collecting it. That's the solution to all your problems, just ignore it. Or do the opposite of what caused the problem, you know? Like, if you were going too fast on a school zone and you got a speeding ticket, you should overcompensate by driving extremely slowly. Or if you overcooked your eggs last time, undercook them. Alright, I'm holding the trigger so firmly right now, you don't even know. Alright, I got past the section where I died last time. New stream record! I haven't gotten this far during this stream, yet, at least. It's also the intrigue, you know? When I stream this, you know, the streamer could die at any moment. I could just randomly, you know, dash diagonally here instead of straight forward. But I didn't, you know? And because most of the time I don't mess up, you know? Your brain expects something. And when it hits you with something else, that's excitement. So yeah, I just psychoanalyzed the appeal of a stream like this. Though I don't think the appeal of watching this necessarily is the gameplay. I think a large chunk of it is me talking. Some people like my personality. You know, they tell me, Mycromator, I love your huge personality, while they're caressing my biceps. They tell me that all the time, actually. You know, especially women, they walk up to me and they tell me that all the time. Whee! Okay. Oh wow, I just messed up. Oh, but I didn't die. Never punished. I've gone entirely unpunished. Okay. But I do genuinely feel as though Chapter 4 is easier than Chapter 3. I stand by that. I think the gimmicks simply aren't as hard to deal with as the cycle-based dust bunnies. Not even just speaking of first-time player experience, because when you're playing the game for the first time, Chapter 4 is just obviously easier than Chapter 3. I think it's a bit wild, because Chapter 3 is just such a difficulty spike. I think everyone's noticed that, like, if you've played through the game multiple times, I think everyone's sort of noticed that when doing Golden Berries, you know? The leap between doing Chapter 2 Golden to doing Chapter 3 Golden is immense. Alright. I always get scared of that one. I never know whether I should jump or duck. Whack. See, I said duck and then I made a quacking sound. This is a reference to duck, the real-life animal, which is spelled the same as the verb duck, which means, you know, to take cover or to try to get smaller. Alright, and we're in the last room. Time to die and end the stream. But I think I will end the stream after this attempt, unless someone joins the chat. We've been going for an hour now. Maybe I should stream earlier. I think I've started streaming too late lately. But it's just like during summertime you have dinner so late and I want to stream after dinner. But I also want to have like chill time after dinner where you're chilling after eating. It's kind of weird in that way. You actually did 4 AG and 5 AG before 3 AG. It's not that crazy. 3 is very difficult. Same with 3B. 3B is definitely harder than 4B, like for sure. Okay. We've made it to the Mirror Temple, which is a stream record, you know, for this stream. My actual record is the second to last room of the first phase of the badeline fight in Chapter 6. So let's see if we can beat that this run. I feel like it's possible. But honestly, I'm just glad that I'm in Chapter 5. I think this might be my favorite chapter. Not to play, not even just gameplay wise, just thematically. Like story and thematically wise, they hit it out of the park with this one. And music wise, I love the ambience. Quiet and Falling in conjunction with In the Mirror, like those two songs in a row. I think those are probably like, those might be my favorite songs in the soundtrack because I don't think any track has depicted being deeply depressed as much as Quiet and Falling has. It's genuinely remarkable. I'm always scared of this part, you know? Like, I know when I'm supposed to jump, but I still feel very scared to do it. Okay. Time for our one scripted death. But it doesn't count because it doesn't add a death to the save file. And also, like, you literally cannot avoid this. Like, you cannot avoid Madeline's suicidal thoughts. Wee, I'm a seeker. Got him. Got her. She's never gonna escape this temple. Wee. How far to the right do I land? Ah, man, I got quite a centered landing. I love trying to land as far to the left as possible. I feel like sometimes you can get quite far away from the center. I don't actually know what you need to do to get far from the center. It always feels a bit random, you know? That's why it's kind of fun to go for. Alright, now we're getting to the part that is a bit difficult, which is the seeker part. After that it gets easier, and then the crystal part is where it gets hard again. Well, like, not this seeker part. This one's fairly easy. There's a few rooms in the seeker section that can mess you up bad. Oh wow, that was kind of scary. I don't know how he got into that crevice with me. That usually doesn't happen. Kinda neat. Now, if you go through these full throttle and you know how to move around the seekers, it's not that difficult. This is the room that's hard. Like this is the one that is actually difficult. I mess this one up quite regularly. This is where most of my chapter 5 runs end. If they do end. That or one of the Theo rooms. Alright. Man, this is a good run. We're making progress. Dude, if I messed up this trick like once, I think I'd get scared of doing it forever. Which would curse me to messing it up, you know. Right now it's not a contentious issue, but I feel like it could become one. Like, it could become a thing I become inconsistent at. Bounced on him. This section of the level isn't that hard. Again, it's those first few seeker rooms, and then going for Theo afterwards. Oh wow, I can't believe he still saw me. That went differently than I expected. Alright, what's up, Theo? Check this shit out. I don't think you've ever seen that, huh? Oh shit, oh fuck. That was not at all what I intended to do. That was pretty scary, actually. Alright. Last time I died, when I got this far, I died to this room. I think because of that exact thing that just almost happened. I think that exact thing almost killed me last time. Oh wow, he saw me. I did not expect him to see me there. Dash at me. See, like he comes out of nowhere. Same with this. Oh my god, I hate the Theo section. My hands are sweaty. Alright, this is the other room I hate. Got it, Jinx. I didn't die. Okay, let's forget to dash here. What? What? I don't even know what to say. I don't think that's ever happened to me. I think that is the literal first time this has happened to me. That is unbelievable. Genuinely, how did I even manage to do that? That is... I guess that's what happened, but I feel like that never happens. Oh my god. Oh, see, okay, it happened again. Okay, so it happens when I throw right. Oh, it's... I genuinely don't know why it happened, but, you know. I got jinxed, I guess. GG on dying, yippee. I mean, it was a really good run. That's the most frustrating part, you know? I literally got to the last room of Chapter 5. That's the most frustrating thing. But it's fine, it's okay. Do I end stream? You know what? This is the last attempt. This is the final attempt, no matter where I die. Micro casually forgetting how to do the room? No, I actually did know how to do the room. I just... I don't think that's ever happened to me. I'll die in Chapter 7. That would be quite nice. That would be a new record. And it feels very liberating to say this is the final run. Because at that point, you'll, you know... I feel like it takes a lot of edge off of you. Yeah, you're not edging as much. By the way, I forgot to say, welcome home, Gaming Midkicks. Welcome home. Ugh. Let's straighten out our backs. Okay, I did just mess up my audio by doing that, but that's okay. At least I got a straight back now. Man, playing this with the messed up audio is strange as hell. You don't know how it sounds, but it sounds like... You know, someone's playing the Celeste soundtrack out of a speaker in the room next to me. Or rather, in the hall next to me, because it's kind of echoing. I've been attempting to do this for quite a while now. What do you mean? Celeste permadeath, or you mean sit up straight? Both of those things can prove to be quite difficult. Okay, I just messed up that wave dash. That was embarrassing. Please don't mention that. Celeste permadeath. Oh. What's your record? What's your record, Mr. Cakes? If I may know. By the way, how are your runs going, Gaming Paradise? I'm kind of curious. Did you beat me? Did you get further than me? You've never tried it? Oh, you mean I've been attempting it for quite a while now. Yeah, I have. I have been grinding this for a long while. She's exhausted. You can't even golden Chapter 6 yet. You say even, as if it's like easy to golden Chapter 6. Golden berries are they're difficult. You know, being able to do tech consistently and being able to do difficult rooms is an entirely different skill set than being good at golden berries, you know? Because that requires consistency. Beating difficult levels requires a bunch of flukes in a row. Let's see how far this last run can get me. I have a good feeling about this one. I really do. Okay, I don't have a good feeling anymore. That was pretty cringe. In some point, it's not just flukes. The rooms get really long, and you need to be able to do most of the room consistently. Yeah. Yeah, it's like mini golden berry challenges. I guess so, yeah. Ah! That was the most embarrassing... like scared moan ever. Unless you do it smart and use save states. No, I'm never gonna use save states. I'm not that kind of player. I'm not even allowing myself to use normal saves for this run. No, I don't know. I think it's cheap. Even if you just use it to practice, it doesn't give you the true suffering experience, you know? And when I'm playing Celeste, I'm playing to suffer and to overcome that suffering. Yeah, why use them when you can try over and over? Because trying over and over is part of the process. If you didn't try over and over, then it wouldn't feel as good when you finally do it. Ever thought about that? In Chapter 6, you sometimes try only the badeline rooms to practice a bit. I mean, you're allowed to practice. I'd probably have gotten, you know, much further in this challenge if I'd practiced, but I'm not doing it. I refuse to. Though I do think that, like the first time I reach Chapter 7, I'm gonna practice Chapter 7 a bit. Yeah, I will never only do parts of a room. I also never will. Now, you'll see me repeat, like, a room I die in a bunch of times. If it's pretty far, like just now in Chapter 5, the room I messed up. You saw I went back and did it like 3 times in a row to practice it a bit. Nice. Pop. I should probably play through Strawberry Jam on stream at some point. I think I might have to. People have been asking me so much about it. And I think it'd be quite fun, actually. I think it'd be quite a fun experience. It'd be quite different than this. You know? It'd be a bit different than this. This gets quite repetitive, I think. But the repetitiveness is kind of the point. I'll get too advanced and probably get through advanced pretty easily. But once you're at expert, it gets kind of hard because new tech, yeah. And that's the part where you don't stream it anymore. I think you're better at Goldens, but you also have done a green GM recently. I don't know what those are, what those terms mean. Again, it's been like years since I played Strawberry Jam. I think I literally played it back when it came out, and then I just didn't touch it again. I remember it came out during an April of some year. Probably 2023 if I had to guess. Bang bang. Okay, but reverse wave dashing, again, I'm not calling it hyper or super. Isn't that difficult. It's not that hard. No, I'll hit you one of those reverse ones just now. Imagine combining those with dream blocks. Yeah, that seems quite difficult. I do agree. I can't imagine doing that on keyboard. I feel like that, like, you know, doing reverses feels quite intuitive to do on controller. At least to me, it does. Because you really do just start holding the opposite direction after dashing. Bump. It's mostly just timing stuff, yeah. Probably. Yeah, I'm not the guy to fight a grown man. I'm the type of guy to beat 7-year-olds, but fight like 50 of them. That's what this challenge is, you know? If I was playing Strawberry Jam Expert, I'd fight one adult, right? But what I'm doing here is I'm fighting 57-year-olds. So just the main game. What's more difficult? It's kind of nice how you can hear the breeze coming through the window when you walk past one with a hole in it. I think that's a neat touch. Jim's like fighting 50 adults with broken arms while they all have RPGs. Yeah, but at that point you're just hoping they all kill each other, right? That's the strat there. And perfect aim. Oh, okay, yeah, that settles it. But no, it's I think one of the reasons I don't play many Celeste mods is because I don't like things that are difficult for the sake of being difficult, you know? I feel like Celeste rooms don't do that. I don't feel like they ever do that. But sometimes I see a modded room, D-sides, that feel designed in a way where it's not even about presenting a fun challenge or an interesting way to go through a room, but it's just about spamming a bunch of difficult techniques in a row to make a room really hard. SJ Beginner Lobby Deathless is probably much harder than this. It probably is. Actually, it really depends on how many levels there are in that. I think it's probably more difficult just because there's more rooms. I'm not sure, actually. If all the levels are easy except for one, you just do that one first. I'm 100% right. Do you mean on the difficulty thing? Or do you mean on the challenge thing? On how hard it would be to do to 100%? Yeah, okay. I like a fun challenge, you know? That is hard. I don't need a hard challenge. There's about 20 maps. Yeah, okay. So I'd say it's probably more difficult just because there's more game to complete. And again, the difficulty for this stuff. What? Oh man, that's a frustrating one. I was looking away. Oh man. I said once that dying in this room feels pretty bad, or at least I think it would feel pretty bad because I don't think it's ever happened to me actually. I don't think I die much to this. All right. Now I'll hit you with a few 7 BG attempts, right? I'll let you enjoy some 7 BG attempts. Have a look at this. Oh wow, new levels? He's not in chapter 3? Oh my goodness. I wonder what percentage of the stream I spent in chapter 3 today. Imagine combining wave dashes, as you call them, with core blocks. I've done that. It feels a bit weird. You get a lot of speed and it's tough to control. I think that's why I don't like it, because I feel like if you design a challenge around that's like very specific, it doesn't really feel like it requires skill. Like you just gotta like figure out the way to get the precise angle that they expect of you. It'd be kind of funny if I just did it. No, get that checked off the list. Like you can't do the base game, but at least you completed something today, Micro. You're telling me how many rooms that is, but I have no idea how many rooms there are in base Celeste. Literally couldn't tell you. I couldn't even estimate it, frankly. I'd have to count while I play. It's the type of shit I did when I played 7 AG for the first time. Man, 7 AG really was a new caliber for me back when I did it for the first time. Because that one also is just a marathon. Again, the difficulty for that comes down to the fact that it's a marathon. You have to play consistently well. What's up, baddie? Oh, I shouldn't call her baddie. That sounds weird. Okay, apparently I died there. For everything, yeah, but I mean just for the main game, just to beat the main game. And that's that, guys. Let's do our 1 Pico 8 attempt. Our 100% deathless Pico 8 attempt. See if I can get the full clear Pico 8 without dying. Totally not padding for runtime. No, but I do one of these every stream. Right? You might not have noticed that it's a tradition. But now you notice it. You'll notice it every stream. Imagine if they added a golden. It wouldn't make a difference functionally. Again, Golden Berry just kinda... It kinda institutionalizes Deathless as a challenge the devs intended. Last time I actually got pretty far. I got pretty deep into Chapter 2 last time. Alright. I kinda like balloons to refresh your dash. I understand why they went with dash crystals instead in the final game. Especially because the sprite also just takes up less space, it's less screen cluttery. And it also kind of feels like it fits better with the themes of the game than just like random balloons floating around. But I think the balloons have their charm. Yeah. I'm imagining a run where I like... Oh, okay. That was a pretty bad one. Last time I got... Wait, why can't I do this now? Okay, third attempt is pretty bad. Let's try again. Wow. Okay, that's actually a lot tighter at timing than I thought. Let's practice it one more time so I don't mess it up next time. Oh, you just need to dash really late. Okay. I think that's it. Right. Yeah. You get over it pretty easily if you dash very late. It's an x-axis issue, not a y-axis issue. What the fuck was that? The blocks didn't quite disappear yet? Okay. Anyways, that's Pico 8 done. And with that, we're all done. Thank you all for dropping by. We almost had a Chapter 6 run today. But then Gaming with Cakes jinxed it. Didn't have to do that, I gotta be honest. That was a bit unnecessary. Wait, hold up. You wanna get first still? I know. Yeah, I know. You're farming for that first place at the end. But no. I hope you all did enjoy the stream. The name's been Mycromator. Be sure to like and subscribe so you come back here, find your way back. Join the Discord server if you want to know when I stream. Alright. And with all that said, the name has been Mycromator. Take care. And bye. See ya.